Yo, Cicero here. Now, I know my hair looks like I got stampeded by the herd that killed Mufasa, but besides the point, I just wanted to talk about some anime. Now, I'm sure you've heard a lot of anime, especially by other YouTubers such as Akidiris, The Anime Man, Misty Connection, Lost Pause, Sea Dog VA, etc. So, besides that fact, I just wanted to name my top three favorite anime. Because, why the heck not? I could do what I want on my channel. Anyway, so one of my favorite animes would have to be Maiden no Atlantis, or Lord Marksman. Now, what makes this anime my favorite anime? Well, it's kind of a unique story. So, I grew up with a lot of the mainstream anime, like Pokemon, Digimon, Dragon Ball, and Naruto. Now, besides that yeah, I pretty much only watched mainstream anime for a very long time. Like, I didn't really start watching, like, non-mainstream anime. God, I can't talk today. Non-mainstream anime until I was in my freshman year of high school. So, pretty decent time to only watch the stuff that was airing on TV. Now, the the reason I like Men in Lots of Venice, it was the first anime that I looked at outside of the mainstream anime. And simply, what is Lord Marksman about? Well, Lord Marksman, or Maiden no Atlantis, I am pretty sure I am saying that right. Sorry for the stuttering. But what I like about it is it's medieval themed. Now, I am a huge sucker for medieval history. Might that be weapons, battles, whatever. I am a big fan of medieval history, and I am a big fan of the fantasy genre. So, those two together, I freaking love it. Now, I wish the anime was as long as some of the manga. The manga is a lot longer than Maiden no Atlantis. It is like 10 to 13 episodes, if I believe in the top of my head. But it is simply an amazing show. Like, sure, it drags on a little bit. There's, a little edgy for your edgy lovers. I'm probably saying that wrong. I apologies. My apologies. But it has edgy. It's lewd. It has amazing battle scenes. Like, how many anime can you name off the top of your head that has like CGI medieval battle scenes with like swords, spears, halberds, bows and arrows, just the whole medieval 9 yards. So, is that simply why I like it? Well, that's a huge part of it. But I would heavily recommend going to watch it. It is only 10 to 13 episodes. And of course the short OVA. But I'm pretty sure I've said and simply like 20 times in this short period of video. But with that, the main character, Tigra Vermin Vaughn, is a lord of a small province, which I have forgotten the name of because it's been a little bit since I watched it. But he's a small peasant lord of a small province, and he protects his city, well, town, with a bow and arrow. He goes up against like one of the biggest armies in the realm with a bow and arrow. Now, in the beginning, warning, spoilers, he literally shoots like 10 of the enemy army, like 137 yards away from the party he was shooting at. Now, granted, he lost that battle, but then he was recruited into Lady Eleonora's army. And Lady Eleonora are known as I believe they were either called the Sword Maidens or the War Maidens. It's one of the two. But besides that, the War Maidens all have a very specific set of abilities, at least magic, and a very specific set of skills with said magic. Lady Eleonora controls the wind. And I'm not gonna spoil any more. I humbly recommend to go check it out. It is a really, really good series, at least by my standards. If you like medieval and sci-fi battles, it's a show for you. Now, on to my second favorite anime, which is an anime that's hard to explain. It is very difficult to explain, but I'll try my best. It is an anime called Sankaria. Now, this was the second non-mainstream anime that I watched. So, what is Sankaria about? Sankaria is an anime about a guy who has a fetish for zombies. And that fetish for zombies comes and bites his butt when he finds his crazy grandpa's Necronomicon, or simply a book talking about a specific leaf that can turn people into zombies after they die. Now, this guy is pretty much, a shut-in, a creepy duder, all that jazz. But he wants a zombie girlfriend because he watches a lot of horror movies, and simply that's what he likes. Kinda weird, but we don't judge here. But what's interesting, so this girl, who is the son of a very wealthy businessman, ends up coming to the abandoned building where the protagonist lays. Now, I forgot the protagonist's name. I forgot both of the protagonist's names, which is kind of awkward. If I remember them, I'll put them in the comments down below. But with that matter, wait, no, the girl's name is Mai, I believe. Anyway, the girl ends up going to the abandoned building this guy's at, and he ends up, not wanting her around because simply he's not attracted to non-undead women. Now, to be granted, he is not technically classified as a necrophiliac because zombies are animated dead. Necrophilia is non-moving dead. I know, fine line, still kind of messed up, but technically it's not necrophilia if they move, because the living dead has living in the name. And for them to have cognitive function, at least a part of the brain has to move. Therefore, zombies are alive. Anyway, enough about the zombie rants. Man, the gist of it, he ends up bringing back his dead cat with this mixture of this leaf that is native to their area that, brings the cat back to life. To, the living dead. And he ends up getting an idea about that, but he doesn't know how to proceed. So, anyway, the girl who has a unbearable dad, like an absolute pile of garbage dumpster fire, who is very overprotective because his wife died, and he's kind of creepy towards his daughter, not gonna lie, kind of creepy. But in the magnitude of that, they end up going to a cliff because her dad's end up finding her, and he tries to run the male protagonist through with a rapier. And his daughter ends up falling off a cliff, but he ends up finding a. She ends up drinking this liquid, the same liquid that the cat drank. So she ends up falling off a cliff and, dying. But the thing is, so the liquid with the mixture of leaves ends up bringing her back to life as the living undead. And simply the male protagonist has to shield the female protagonist for a while because, the living undead is not normal. And she ends up going into rigor mortis, which, if you don't know, is the stage of a corpse when all bodily functions start to cease to exist. So all the cells and all that dies. So she ends up going into rigor mortis on this, and he ends up having to keep her in his closet because, you can't move through rigor mortis. So with the magnitude of that, he ends up looking after her, feeding her. She still likes to eat because, the undead, they may be, like to eat brains, but they technically need nutrients because, well, they're the living undead, so they're partially alive. But anyway, I'm not gonna spoil any more about that one, and let's go on to the third and the most weirdest one here. So, I've watched this anime called Midoriya Days. Now, this is a very bizarre premise, and that's why I love it so much and is one of my favorite series. So, Midoriya Days. It starts off as a very typical love romance anime with a twist. So this girl ends up liking this guy. Again, I forgot the names of the characters. It's been a while. But they end up finding damn, I can't talk. The main the main female character ends up wishing upon a star to be with her crush. Now, the star spirits, whatever you want to believe with, took that very literally. So, she was literally with him because she became his right hand. Yes, you heard me right. She became his hand. So, the main male character wakes up and, looking at his hand, sees that there is a small woman on where his hand used to be, and of course, he freaks out like as any normal person would if somebody just materialized where your hand once was. So after the freak out is over, is Midori. I don't know why it took me so long to remember that because it's literally in the name of the anime. She ends up talking to him, and he ends up having to try to live a normal life in high school, while his hand is bandaged, and this dude's a delinquent, so he tends to fight a lot, and it's kind of hard to fight when you have a literal person attached to your hand. And it's a tiny person, about the size of a doll normally. And with the magnitude of that a few episodes in, the reverse happens. So, she returns to her body, but the main male character is on her hands. Yeah, interesting premise, huh? But anyway, I'm not going to spoil that one much. So that one is called Midoriya Days. I'd recommend looking it up. It is a weird watch. It's hard to explain. That's why normally I would tell someone to go watch it, which I am. It is a very interesting and a weird premise that There's not many things out there for that stuff. Let's just say that. So, anyway, guys, that has been my 3 most favorite anime. So, we had Sankaria, Midori Days, and Lord Marksman or Maiden no Ato Vandus. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this very simple video. I know it didn't take a lot of effort on my part. I could have written a script, get some better character development in my mouth voicing, but I do hope you like it. And if you'd like me to go into a more detailed explanation about the characters, please let me know. Comment in the comments down below if you'd like to see me go into more details about these characters. Anyway, this has been Cicero, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night, depending on where you live. And remember, the game on, work hard, and watch more anime. Anyway, I'm gonna end it here. Lovely and peace.